So this is Advanced Steel 2020, and we're going to take a look at the ball post railing, which is part of the Graitec BIM Designer for Stairs and Railings. We're going to apply it to this deck platform that we have here. So under here I'm just going to actually filter out the gratings. So I'm going to select the gratings, and when I've got the properties obviously up, I come under here. I'm actually just going to turn off their visibility actually under the display type, so I can actually turn them off in there. So do that. So they're off. Just make sure I deselect them. So what I'm trying to do is put a railing around the outside of this platform. I'm going to pick a beam, so I'm going to use the beam method for this install. So I select the source beam that it's going to go on. I need to select a start point and obviously an end point, so here. And do I want to apply base points for the point? So this is where the posts go. I can actually define where they want to be if I want to. In this case I'm not really too worried. Probably a nosing would be a good point. It's always a good reference. Sometimes the nosing position might be higher than the top of the flange, or it might be lower depending on where you're working relative to the floor level. So I've just selected the nosing point on the corner of the channel there, and it should now start to pull in the detail for the ball post hand railing. So it will pull something in direct from the catalogue. When you access the catalogue, you can go into here, and under the catalogue you can come down and select what you actually need. So if you want to, you can just pick one of these. So I'm going to pick a different type here, and you'll see that the railing will change. So with that in place, you can come around and you can start changing things. But at the moment you'll see a lot of things are greyed out. That's because we are using a standard catalogue post that's at a nominated value for its height and its configuration. But if you uncheck that, you will see that the various elements then become available in here. So for a start off, the hand railing, the distance from the base, you can adjust this in here. So this is the height of it. So if you want to, you can adjust this down to 1100, and obviously this is working on the level section. Obviously if you're inclined, you'd adjust that one, and obviously you can make it the same as what it is on the straight if you so wish. That doesn't have any effect on what we're doing here at the moment. And similarly, you need to obviously take a look at the mid rail. So we obviously dropped down the top rail, so we need to adjust the mid rail. So we're just going to adjust that to pull that back down to be in the middle, sort of 550. Also, you know, I noticed that the end of the hand railings is actually protruding out from where I want to. So this is actually under this tab in here. So I'm just going to set that to 0. And this is relative to the start end of the rail, left hand here. Obviously I can do the same sort of thing at the right hand as well. So they're controlled independently. So if I wanted to put a different measurement in there, I could do, which could be a good, in some scenarios, good case. So also I can control, coming back to the posts, obviously we've got the post layout now, so we can see that we might want to change the config at the end. So we might want to just pull the post over. So again, at the left hand end I'm just adjusting that figure, and then at the right hand end I'm just adjusting this figure as well, and then that's automatically recalculating the post in the middle based upon the spacings that I'm putting in here. So it will probably retweak that, so I can actually force it to give me what I want. Now similarly, obviously where I uncheck this as well, you can see that the post connection at the moment has none. I could put a rectangular plate on now, which would come on to the base of the channel. This is an advanced steel thing, so where the bolts are projecting right the way through to the bottom flange. So again, I can just do a quick selection window here, use the filter here, come into the bolt properties. It will close the joint dialog, and I just tick that finish at gap. So that's a standard operation. Again, I can come back into the joint properties again, and I could change some of the settings. So maybe I want to put it to come off the side of the channel, so rather than being on the top flange, or we can do it so it projects over the edge. So similarly, we would come back into the post, come back to the post. So we're on post beam here, and at the moment it says platform. So we're actually going to do side offset, because I know that we're actually going to go to the inside web, and we've obviously got to clear the lip of the channel. So the first thing I would do is control the vertical offset. We know it's a 200 deep channel, so we're going to go down 100 millimeters here. and we just adjust that and it drops down. Now obviously the side offset is a combination of the width of the flange and actually obviously the size of the tube. So in this case I'm just going to set this to 100 mil, and you'll just see that that will move over towards the left of the screen and obviously extend the offset in there. Obviously the alignment is set to the right, which is correct in this case. It's going to the outside. So quite quickly we've created the initial arrangement for the post in one area of it. So also next, this is a joint. You can use transform elements, which is probably a better method actually to array this around the actual project rather than going in and selecting each one individually. So obviously the 00 point is in the middle, so but you could select that if you so wish by pressing this button here. Simply, obviously I know it's 6 items because of what I drew originally, and it's a 60-degree angle. Can do a preview of what we want, so we can just check what it's going to go and do. That might take a few minutes or a few seconds to process this. We can see the dialog at the bottom proceeding. So the transform elements dialog bar just down in the bottom left here, it's actually processing what is going on in the background. So when this is processed to detail, we can see that it's placed it in place, and then we get the modify or accept dialog. So with that I can go OK. So quite quickly we have created an individual panel which we have then added in and then copied around in the model, and obviously combined with the decking, so which we turned off earlier on. So we can actually select that again in here, and then we can see its properties, and we can change its display type to be standard, and it will come back on. So quite quickly you can create decking, and obviously that's not a standard sort of shape layout. It's something quite different and unique, and please look out for the video where I've done the decking and how I used our platform cover, which forms part of our advanced steel power pack, and that is under our connection vault here.